guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Christina and I'm from Ukraine. In this video I will show you the Ukrainian equivalent of the famous American dollar store. In general, there are several chains of this format in Ukraine, but the largest of them is called Aurora. At the moment, there are 1,400 stores of this chain in Ukraine and more than 20 abroad, because this chain has started to enter the international market. Lisa and I came to the largest store of this chain. Lisa is my younger sister, by the way. She has already appeared on the channel in others video, and the video was shot in the summer. Now it's snowing in Kiev. So let's start our review. In general, these stores have really low prices and are very popular in Ukraine. In my neighborhood alone, there are 4 stores within 1 kilometer of my house. In some of them, which are big like this one, there's a place where you can make and drink coffee, buy some buns and heat them up. But most of the stores have only goods without such a rest area. In Ukraine, our domestic currency is the hryvnia, and all prices are in hryvnia respectively. At the time of this video recording, the hryvnia dollar exchange rate is $1 equals 40 hryvnias. So you can simply take the price you see in the video and divide it by 40 to understand the cost. However, this video is not about prices, but rather general overview of this store. Actually, this store sells really everything. I have not been to similar stores in other countries. If you have been, please write after viewing whether such stores are very similar to each other or not. The prices here are cheaper than in regular stores in Ukraine. Even some products like snacks or sodas are cheaper. But in fact, most of the goods, such as toys and household items, are purchased from Chinese suppliers. And it's strange because, as you know, China supports Russia and therefore supports the war in Ukraine. But even in ordinary supermarkets, grocery stores and shopping centers, we also have things from China. The advantage of this network, among other in general, and in fact, this is one of the reasons why they became so successful and leaders among competitors quite quickly, is that you can return any products. In Ukraine, it's not so easy to return goods, and they can be returned only in some stores, provided that all the receipts and boxes are preserved and they have not been used, and then it can be difficult. In Aurora, you can return everything. In fact, there are things in this particular store that surprised Lisa and me. Given that we had been to more than 10 stores of this chain before, we had never seen anything like this. For example, a separate children's area and an area with a sofa and sockets where you can work when the power goes out. In Ukraine, unfortunately, scheduled power outage have returned, and now I'm editing a video of the power outage at my home. In general, when it comes to electricity, there are 4 hours of power and 4 hours of no power, and so on in a circle. When the shelling intensifies and when it gets colder, as it's now, there is even less light for even fewer hours a day. And in fact, Ukrainians have already adapted. We have power banks, batteries, and the internet that works without electricity. However, it is much harder now than it would have been in the summer, for example, because at 5 o'clock it's already completely dark outside. By the way, when there is no power in a certain area, the lights and traffic lights don't work, and of course, now that the snowfall has begun, it is difficult for both drivers and pedestrians. By the way, in the next video on the channel, I will tell and show how we are living without electricity now, and generally tell you the latest news of a personal nature and what is happening in Ukraine. But now we're back to the store, and as you can see, there aren't many people here, and that's because we arrived early in the morning. Although today is a day off in Ukraine and this store is located near the central station in Kiev, so there are usually much more people here. In general, in addition to toys and household items, they also sell goods for cars, goods for animals, even household appliances, and various games such as Monopoly or even tarot cards, various snacks, vitamins, goods for children, and some clothes. On the one hand, I like that we have such stores, but on the other hand, I don't, because this segment of stores shows how much poorer Ukrainians are becoming if such stores become more and more popular. Me and Lisa found a lot of weird stuff we don't understand, and by the way, they also sell soap, shampoos, creams, even some decorative cosmetics, but I definitely wouldn't buy that here. But washing powders, dishwashing detergent and such plenty, why not if it's cheaper here? Of course, here you can pay by card and cash. In Ukraine, in big cities, you can pay everywhere by card. I use cash only when I leave tips or in shuttle buses. These are analogies to buses, but they are not related to public transport, so there you can pay only in cash. But in public transportation, such as buses, trolley buses, trams, streetcars, subways, you can pay by card. Actually, there was a separate video on the channel where Lisa and I showed and talked about public transportation in Ukraine and in Kiev, what it is and how to use it. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it, and I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video. Also, in this store there are both regular cash register and self-service cash register. This is also a very common store in Ukraine. Also, a separate treat for me is the color of the store, since yellow is my favorite color. If you have been on the channel for a long time, you remember my first car, which was also yellow. And I thank you for watching and for spending time with us. Subscribe to the channel, put a like, write in comments how you like the review, and see you in the next video on the channel.